Kia ora koutou. Welcome into Sky Rugby Club Digital for another week. It's not just me, it's never just me. These two are back again, back at it again. Israel Dag, Joey Wheeler coming to us from all parts of the country. How are you two today?
Good.
Joey?
Tired down in the deep south. I think you can hear it in my voice. Had a sick child in our house last night, so she's been a long night on the tools, Kirsty, being a dad. So all good, ready to go. I'm excited for the weekend. Just being able to talk about my Tasman Mako being in the final.
Oh, yes.
That has got me up.
Oh, yes. Is there anything that you wanted to say to Izzy before we get into it, or?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that the cash dagger, and I'm also waiting for the beers. No, I don't know. I was thinking, I'm not sure what I would have rather had, to have won the Scram for the Shield game or to have won the semi-final and be in the final, give ourselves a chance for another championship, 3 on the bounce. But yeah, unlucky dagger. I thought you guys deserved it, but outstanding season all the same.
Oh, look, to be honest, I was, I don't think we deserved it. I don't, because we went into that game and, Tasman have been in playoffs footy for a long time, third straight, obviously chasing it. So they knew what it takes to win playoffs footy. It's a different kind of beast. I think throughout the year, Hawke's Bay, they got away with playing that unstructured game, that freestyle type of game. And it comes to playoffs, you've got to actually knuckle down and do the basics well, and you got to take all those little bits of inches, and those offloads and things probably won't happen as easy as they had happened during the year. So it was a tough watch, Joey, and I promised a wee bet with you, and I lost a wee bit of money with Kieran Whanatea too. So it's been a tough weekend, mate. Been a tough weekend, I'll tell you.
The excuses already. Yeah, it's good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear Dagger tail between the legs.
I can't really take Izzy seriously when Joey can't wipe the smile off his face. It's so good. Hey, while we're talking about this, why don't we get into the Bunnings Cup finals this weekend? 2 matches, 2 big games as well. Premiership first and foremost. You mentioned it, Joey. Tasman, they can still win 3 on the bounce. Back-to-back premiership titles already, and they're into another final. This is turning into one of those Crusader-like dynasties, taking on Waikato this weekend.
Don't even compare the
Mako
to the
Crusaders. Well, they're a part of the Crusaders region, Joey. They are.
I like to call them the Taslanders. Anyway, I think this team's it's faced a lot of adversity this year, and I think they've probably surprised themselves along with a lot of us fans and how well they've done. Firstly, losing a lot of guys to the All Blacks. They've lost a lot of their regular sort of outstanding Super Rugby players, and Ethan Blackadder, Tyrell Lomax, Davey Havili. These guys have been regulars in the last championships that they've won, and now they're obviously regular All Blacks. There's other guys that have come in to fill the void, have just done an outstanding job, and it shows that the depth that they're building up in that Tasman region and the talent ID and what they've done behind the scenes is working really, really well. I honestly, in that game against the semi-final, I was obviously confident. Well, I wasn't overly confident, but I was still putting bets on left, right and centre with anyone that wanted to crack, just because I'm always going to back my Tasman Mako. But I was just really impressed with the tactical masterclass that they put together. We spoke about it last week around the kicking game that they need to execute to put this Hawke's Bay team under pressure. And I thought Mitch Hunt just basically put that team on his shoulders and said, boys, follow me, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to find grass, we're going to kick long, real connected chase line, and then put this Hawke's Bay team under a lot of pressure. They need to rinse and repeat that this week, because when they played them in round robin, Dagger, this Waikato side put them under a heap of pressure. And Tasman had no real answer in terms of their attack. They played really predictable rugby in terms of their attack. So for me, they need to get that balance right. Mitch Hunt needs to take control tactically, but also go back to what you were saying earlier around doing those simple things really well, because that's what matters in these finals.
Yeah, that surprised me, Joey, that round robin game between Tasman and Waikato. I did not pick that at home for Tasman, get an absolute trouncing. But I think they'll take a lot of learning from that. they allowed Waikato to play their style of game, and I remember that game vividly. Tasman actually had a lot of the ball, but they weren't able to get over the line. They weren't getting any rewards from that. On the other side, Waikato were living off scraps. They were living off little errors that Tasman were making, and then they were scoring some long-range tries. And when scoreboard pressure is building, you force a team into playing a certain way. I think this time round, finals footy, it is different. And when you have a team like Tasman that are on chasing their third straight, they know what it takes to win finals footy. So they just attacked that game with the right game plan. Mitch Hunt really stood up. I love Leicester Fainga'anuku at centre. When you lose a centre pairing and you're looking for answers, and Leicester moves there, and then you bring Timothy Tavatanawa on the right wing, and how good was he throughout this competition? So that's what Tasman keep doing. They just keep finding new options and new players, and they know what it takes to win playoff footy, and they thoroughly deserve their win. On the other side, I'm proud of Hawke's Bay. They'll get a lot of learnings from this, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these players go at the next level, particularly Lincoln McClutchy for Moana Pacifica. I want to see if he can transition that form from Bunnings NPC to the higher level. So I'm looking forward to it.
We have Otago taking on Taranaki in the other final. And talking about Mitch Hunt orchestrating something good for Tasman, well, you've got Josh Ioane pulling the strings down at Otago, coming up against Joey, the undefeated side this season, the team that across both divisions has been the side to beat.
Yeah, haven't they been outstanding, the Taranaki side? And I think seeing them play in those atrocious conditions last week against
like
Southland,
a swimming pool.
Those conditions. Yeah, I know. And that gave Southland a chance really to stay in that game, because I think dry track, the speed that Taranaki have been playing at this season, they would have struggled to stay with them. But I was talking to Marty Banks yesterday, and I laughed because he was really disappointed with the performance. And I said, "Look, Banks, you should be really happy that you guys made it after 1-1." We talked about that before. They did hang tough, the Stags. And,
did you get Tony Lamborn?
Yeah, he wasn't having a bar of me, you know that.
A few haters out there saying that we don't deserve to be here, but they can shut up their ass. As far as I'm concerned, mate, we deserve to be here.
But no, Neki have been awesome. I think they do the simple things really well. They're not anything real flashy. They play a great brand of rugby, but they've got a really handy set piece. I think under Barnsey, they've really steeled up in that area, and I think bringing in a guy like Michael Bent to shore up their scrum, that's done wonders for them, an old wily head. Otago, on the flip side, you said about Josh Ioane, the challenge for him, it's always been his consistency. We know how world-class he can be, Digger, when he plays flat on the line and he's getting that front foot ball that he got against the Turbos. But this forward pack from Otago, they need to change their mindset to go to another level, because reality is that Manawatu side that got put out against them, they were missing basically 3 of their starting props from this season. And so they're going to be going up against a whole different beast in terms of this Taranaki forward pack. So they're not going to get the easy scrum penalties that they got. They're not going to get the ease of getting over the game line. So Josh Ioane probably won't have it all his own way like he did against Manawatu. But when he's on, holy heck, he is one of the – oh, man.
Yeah, he's playing consistently good football this year, I think, Joey, and I think he's full of confidence, and I'm going to have a chat to him a bit later on in the morning about that. I want to kind of unlock why he has been so consistent throughout the year, and it's like everything, and it's probably the problem with the ABs at the moment. If you don't have a front foot, a set piece, or you don't have any front foot ball, your attacking threats can't get into the game. So Otago will know that. But for me, I know that they're right up against it. Look, let's be honest, Taranaki have been the form side in the whole entire competition. They've won 8 on the trot at the moment, a complete turnaround to last year. And that's a big head off to Neil Barnes with his direction, his leadership. He's got a side in there that's got a lot of belief. You've got a guy on the wing that's going to be down at the Crusaders, Kini Holo. How good has he been? He's been outstanding. And then another guy who we spoke about the other day, Stephen Perofeta, playing at 15. He has been outstanding as well, mate. So he's getting them great direction around the park. Tay Walden. So they've got good guys in every single position that can make good decisions. They're experienced. They know what it takes to win high-pressure games. I think they'll be too good for Otago. I picked Manawatu last week to beat Otago. You stayed with Otago. They absolutely trounced them. But I think Taranaki would just be too strong for them in the end.
Well, there's another big game. It doesn't get bigger than this. The All Blacks taking on their old foe, our arch enemies, you could say, the French. Sunday morning, we'll have live coverage on Sky from 8 a.m. But Izzy, you've played against the French. What are they like?
Oh, look, they're an interesting side. They love playing against the All Blacks. They've had a lot of success over the All Blacks over the years, so they've grown that confidence. It's like Ireland as of late. They know they can beat the All Blacks, so they don't fear the All Blacks. And what they do is they bring a different dimension, a different approach to the game that will try and catch the All Blacks off guard. Look, this week I don't think it'll happen because the All Blacks have their backs against the wall. It would have been a brutal week. The review would have been brutal. Ian Foster would have been pointing a lot of fingers at the players. I think they lacked a little bit of attitude, a little bit of direction, and were put under pressure. And when you get put under pressure, you do funny things. So I'm expecting a backlash. I'm expecting a lot of changes within the side. I'm expecting Aaron Smith to start at 9, and with his direction around the park, and at the start of the season, there was always that combination, that that interesting matchup, Antoine Dupont versus Aaron Smith. So we're potentially going to see the two best nines going at it, which I can't wait. So there's going to be some change. I think Sam Cane will come in too and add that kind of physical dimension, doesn't take a backward step. I'm thinking Akira will start at 6, and what I want to see from Akira Ioane is I want to see him go out there and absolutely snap someone in half. And we know the Ioane brothers, they bring a bit of arrogance about them, and sometimes you can take it a different way, but I want to see that this week. I want to see Akira Ioane getting out there, smashing someone, standing over him, and getting up and getting back into the line. That's what I want to see. I think the All Blacks, they got bullied last week, and not many times you say the All Blacks got bullied, but I think they got bullied last week, and I think Akira Ioane, Sam Cane, and Dane Coles up the front will lead the way in the aggressive side. So I'm looking for a backlash. It's going to be interesting with the selections, but I think the All Blacks will bounce back from this. Joey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree, Dagger. I think we're struggling to break down the defences, which is concerning for me, because that was always our point of difference, right? Was that we were so good on attack that we could break any defence down, but we seem to be battling with, especially teams that are probably big forward packs, forward-orientated teams that bring a lot of line speed through the middle, but we just haven't been able to get that speed of ruck to break teams down. So it's a little bit concerning for me. For me, I think I heard Brodie Retallick speaking during the week, and he said that they were trying to play to the middle and then get a two-sided attack against the Irish. For me, I don't know if maybe that's the right thing to do. I'm not sure what your take is on it, but I'd like to see them try, we talked about it last week, earn the right a little bit more, use their 9, use Aaron Smith, and I believe they need to play Finlay Christie as well, because those two guys for me are the best at manipulating the first and second defenders around the ruck to put those forwards into holes. And that in turn will then speed up, we'll get more ruck speed from that, which then defences don't have opportunity to bring that real heavy line speed from the outside to shut off our midfield backs. So I agree with you, Dagger, around Akira Ioane. I think Ethan Blackadder, although he's been outstanding during Rugby Championship, he'll learn a lot from that Irish test, but I think the impact that Akira brought off the bench was outstanding, and I think this will be a great test for him to see if he can do that from a starting perspective. The other ones for me is in the midfield. That's going to be the big question. Do they carry on with ALB at the 12 jersey and Rieko Ioane in 13? If they are going to persist with that, I believe they need to go, that's us, right through to the World Cup now. Rieko, you're going to be a 13. You're not going to be a wing. You're not going to be chopping and changing. My favourite pairing, obviously there's a little bit of bias here with Davey Havili being a Tassie lad, is Davey Havili in the 12 jersey and ALB in the 13, but I just think they need to be consistent with these selections from now, because we're only not so long till we go to the World Cup, and so I think they need to give him an opportunity. we definitely need an attitude shift from our forwards to win that physical battle, because it is so tough. But we need to show a little bit more manipulation, little tip balls, early latches, getting guys through the contact to then play at speed.
That, Joey. Sorry, Kirsty, I just want to jump in quickly. You spoke about the structures and tip balls and things like that. I think at the moment we're getting so fixated on having the perfect picture and playing the perfect picture.
Yeah.
And the thing with rugby, the rugby is every defence is changing on the flow, and I think we're going away from playing our instinctive type of game. And I think for New Zealand, we need to get back to when the All Blacks were great. They played unstructured. They played off the cuff. They see space. That's what you're taught when you're younger. Look, see the space, get the ball to the space. Have the right skill sets, running square, good passing in front. Have the basics done well. But rugby is simple at the end of the day. You got to see the space. You got to get the ball to space. So for me, yes, we have our structures in place. We have our pods. Those are our go-tos when things get really unstructured. We need to reset. But once we're playing, just play. We need eyes up. We need guys looking to see where the options are. We need guys to relay those options into our playmakers, to Aaron Smith, to Bowden Barrett, and then we get the ball there. And that's where we'll get that flow-on effect. And where we see our star players getting the ball in space, doing their offloads, scoring tries. That's, for me, where I want to see the All Blacks go this weekend.
Exciting rugby, eh? Good points, guys, that you've made. I've got a question. I want to know, is this fair? The World Rugby Award nominations came out yesterday, and for the first time in 17 years, the All Blacks don't have a player in the Men's Player of the Year category. Is this a joke? Is this a snub of all proportions? Or did someone deserve to be in there? And if so, who do you think, guys? Who's been the All Blacks' best this year that should have been nominated?
To me, I look at like Samu Karevi, right? I love the guy at Suntory in Japan, and he's been absolutely outstanding for the Wallabies. But he's played 5 tests this year. I don't understand
that is weird. That is a weird one, Joey.
To be eligible for World Player of the Year. So if we're going on that criteria, surely Aaron Smith's the conversation from an All Blacks perspective. I don't understand how they can go with Samu and not with Aaron Smith. And I agree, Michael Hooper's been outstanding. The Wallabies third rugby chip. They've won 1 game on tour so far. I don't know how they've managed to get a nomination for Coach of the Year and 2 players nominated for Player of the Year. The other one that's grating me, and I don't know about you, Dagger, is the Coach of the Year nominations. Now, to me, it should have been a 3-horse race. It should have been between the England's women's 15s coach, Simon Middleton, the Fiji Sevens men's coach, Gareth Baber, and our women's Sevens coaches, Alan Bunting and Corey Sweeney. That to me was the obvious 3 that should have been contesting that. I don't know what your thoughts are, Dagger.
Mate, I totally agree. It's look, we always talk about World Rugby, and I just don't even know what goes on up there, and they're on their own agenda, mate. Like, and look, let's be honest. This is one person's opinion. This is one person's thoughts, and I know those players or those coaches you just spoke about. They'll feel disheartened, but at the end of the day, I don't think they do what they do for a recognition from World Rugby. Yes, it is special. It is on the big stage, but they know what they're about, and I think you're on the money, mate. It is weird. There is some, I don't know what's going on with Samu Karevi. Yeah, he's been great for the Wallabies, but he hasn't been there for the whole year. He's played 5 tests. He hasn't been outstanding. There's plenty of other players that probably could have been in that fact. And you spoke about Aaron Smith. He was outstanding. Obviously, he hasn't been there for the whole rugby championship, so they probably forgot about him. So, look, mate, I think we don't get too caught up in it. It is one person's opinion, and World Rugby, well, I think we've just kind of finally figured out that they're on their own agenda.
Say no more. Say no more. But you can continue the debate at home. Who do you think's been the All Blacks best this year? Comment in the post below and let us know what you think. Great to have you guys joining us once again. Enjoy your week this week. Enjoy the final, Joey. Since your
go
team's
well,
in it.
Joey. Oh, well, Joey.
Thumbs up, boys.
And we'll be talking to you again next week to dissect it all and maybe celebrate with you as well. Great to have you joining us here today, and we'll see you back same time, same place on Sky Rugby Club next week. Ka kite anō.